The emergency beacon screamed across 17 star systems, its distress signal cutting through hyperspace like a blade through silk. On the bridge of the galactic medical response vessel Serenity's Grace, Captain Zixtal's 4 eyes widened, in disbelief as the telemetry data scrolled across his screens. "Impossible," he whispered, his chitinous fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "Run the calculations again." His medical officer, Dr. Velandra, a graceful Altarian with crystalline skin that shimmered blue-green under the bridge, lights shook her elongated head. "Captain, I've run them 6 times. The collision data is accurate. A passenger transport moving at 0.3 light speed struck an asteroid field. The impact force registered at 847,000 Gs. "And survivors?" Zixtal asked, though his voice carried little hope. That's the anomaly, sir. 2 life signs detected." The Serenity's Grace dropped out of hyperspace 3 hours later, its sleek hull reflecting the distant amber glow of the system's twin suns. Before them floated the wreckage of what had once been the luxury liner Stellar Dream, now a twisted sculpture of metal and composite materials scattered across several cubic kilometers of space. Dr. Velandra suited up alongside her emergency team, her medical scanner already picking up the impossible readings. "The life signs are coming from Section 7 of the wreck," she reported through the comm system. "Atmospheric integrity is surprisingly stable." As their rescue pod approached the debris field, Velandra found herself studying the impact patterns with growing amazement. The human-built vessel had struck the asteroid cluster head-on, yet somehow a small section of the passenger quarters remained intact, like a delicate flower surviving a hurricane. "Beginning extraction," announced her team leader, a burly Corvin, whose 6 arms made quick work of cutting through the twisted hull plating. The first thing Velandra heard was laughter, not the hysterical cackling of minds broken by trauma, but genuine, warm human laughter. Her crystalline skin flickered in confusion as her team breached the final barrier. Inside the partially collapsed cabin sat 2 humans. The female, with striking dark hair and bright eyes, was carefully wrapping the male's wrist with strips torn from her clothing. Both were covered in dust and minor cuts, but they were very much alive. "Oh, thank goodness," the female human said, looking up as the rescue team entered. "I'm Hazal, and this is Denial. We were starting to wonder if anyone got our distress signal." Velandra's medical scanner immediately began its work, and what it revealed defied everything she knew about xenobiology. I need to scan you both immediately," she stammered. "The collision forces should have liquefied your internal structures. How are you even conscious?" Denial winced as Hazel finished bandaging his wrist. "Well, it was pretty rough," he admitted. "Hazal here saved both our lives. When the impact alarms went off, she tackled me into that emergency pod alcove just before everything went sideways." "Sideways is an understatement," Hazal laughed, gesturing to the twisted metal around. "On them. We got thrown around like dice in a cup for about 10 minutes. I think I counted 17 different impacts before things settled down." Velandra's scanner beeped insistently. According to its readings, both humans had sustained what should have been fatal injuries: multiple bone fractures, severe internal trauma, catastrophic pressure differentials. Yet they sat before her, chatting casually about their ordeal. "Your skeletal structure," she began, then paused to recalibrate her equipment. "Your bones should be powder. Your organs should have ruptured. Your neural tissue should have been scrambled beyond repair." Hazel raised an eyebrow. "Should have been?" "According to every medical database in the galaxy, yes." Velandra's voice grew excited as scientific curiosity overcame her disbelief. "What is your species composition? Some form of synthetic biology? Metallic endoskeleton?" "Nope," Denial said, accepting a thermal blanket from one of the rescue team. "Just regular humans, though I've got to say all those childhood falls and sports injuries probably helped. Humans are pretty resilient." "Resilient?" Velandra's crystalline skin flashed bright orange, the Altarian equivalent of incredulous laughter. "You survived, an impact that would have atomized a Corvin battleship. Back aboard the Serenity's Grace, Captain Zixtal reviewed the medical reports with growing amazement. Both humans had indeed suffered extensive internal injuries, but their bodies had somehow compensated. Hazal's ribs had cracked in 17 places, yet her lungs continued to function. Denial's spine had compressed by 3 centimeters, yet his nervous system remained intact. Most remarkably, both were already showing signs of healing. Within 6 hours of rescue, their bone density had increased by 12%. Their cellular regeneration rates exceeded anything in galactic medical literature. Dr. Zixtal said as Velandra presented her preliminary findings, "In your professional opinion, what would it take to seriously injure these humans?" Velandra's skin shimmered thoughtfully. "Based on these readings, Captain, I honestly don't know. Their bone structure appears to become denser under stress. Their muscle tissue shows adaptive reinforcement patterns. Their neural pathways seem to reroute around damaged areas automatically. And they consider this normal? Apparently so. When I asked Hazal about it, she just shrugged and said humans are built tough. She mentioned something about their homeworld having gravity that keeps you honest and weather that puts hair on your chest." In the medical bay, Hazal was helping Denial through some basic physical therapy exercises, both of them moving with increasing ease despite their recent trauma. "You know," Hazal said, rotating her shoulder to test its mobility, "this reminds me of that time you crashed your hoverbike into the Stevenson's fence." Denial grinned. "Yeah, except this time the fence was made of asteroids and traveling at relativistic speeds." Dr. Velandra, observing from the doorway, made another note in her report. She was beginning to understand that humans didn't just survive disasters. They contextualized them within a framework of previous survivals, creating an almost casual relationship with catastrophe. As the Serenity's Grace prepared to dock at Nexus Station, word of the impossible survivors had spread throughout the galactic medical community. Research requests flooded in from universities across known space, all desperate to understand how these fragile-looking bipeds could walk away from forces that would reduce most species to their component atoms. "Captain," Velandra said as they watched their human passengers prepare to disembark, both moving with remarkable ease for individuals who should have been in regeneration tanks for months. "I believe we may need to revise our understanding of species durability classifications." Zixtal nodded, his compound eyes tracking the humans as they laughed together about something. "Indeed. And perhaps we should pay more attention to this Earth in our diplomatic considerations." "Why is that, sir?" "If their average citizens can survive what should be instantly fatal encounters," Zixtal mused, "imagine what their soldiers might be capable of." As Hazal and Denial walked down the docking ramp, comparing their various bruises and already planning their next interstellar vacation, neither was aware that their casual survival had just shifted humanity's status in galactic politics from curious newcomers to species of significant interest. After all, they were just happy to be alive.